Feels like we keep drifting apart as a family.
Maybe we're not that close to begin with.
You gotta keep your precious secret so we can live a normal life.
The secret is destroying everything we care about.
Yeah, but it also gave us everything we care about.
Dad's not here to save you this time.
I'm the only one who can stop.
You can't stop what's coming.
There's something I would like to show you. Something that would change everything.
Lois is pregnant.
I'm gonna be an uncle!
The world is about to end as we know it.
How was school? Anything exciting happen?
No. Can we try to have one nice night together as a family? Allie found a portal to another Earth. This would be the end of humanity as we know it.
Hi everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Trip Around the Multiverse with your host, the guy who talks backwards, Carl Charles.
Yeah, and the man who's the reverse version of myself, CY Chong.
Today we're gonna review the overall synopsis and story of Superman and Lois Season 2 on the CW and BBC, whatever it is.
So what did you think of the entire thing overall?
Overall, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It feels a lot different compared to the other CW shows. It feels like it's super high budget, even though it probably isn't. But
I don't mind. Okay, so it's 15 episodes long. So when they have stuff that sometimes doesn't progress the main, or sometimes episodes that have has some of the main plot, but then something other stuff is happening. It's fair enough. Because if you just did it as the main plot, you'd probably only have half the amount of episodes.
Yeah.
So
it's
yeah,
really
and
short than other shows.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And it does kind of help at times. Not to say they execute it all the time perfectly, but it does help at times to know what other stuff is happening around the rest of the cast.
Yeah.
Not that there had to be major story points for them, but they actually did have some major story. They had their own stories.
Yeah, each character sort of had their own little story going on.
Yeah, and not to say that sometimes they were relevant to the main story at all, but you know.
Yeah. Yeah, to be fair, that's kind of right.
Yeah.
And I did enjoy a lot of the family stuff because normally with these sort of shows, like we said before, season 1, the kids are kind of annoying and they're the least favorite part of the show. But I actually like the kids in this.
They're kind of growing on me, but at the same time, it's one where they don't get too much to do, but they kind of get enough to do.
Yeah.
But it doesn't focus on them too much because it doesn't need to. But what they do get to do sometimes is I don't know if it was necessary to do that way, you know.
Explain.
But yeah. So sorry.
What do you mean, by that?
You know, some of the character choices. Some of the choices that, as with these shows, right, and as with the CW shows on, sometimes you're like, okay, that's the simplest route to do certain things.
Yeah.
Or you expect them to do it a certain way, and they just don't, and you're like, yeah, but you can open your mouth and say something.
Yeah, but then the show would be 2 episodes long.
Yeah. But it's just sometimes it's so you don't need to do if you don't want to say something, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to say it, but you got to give someone something. Otherwise, people just think, all right, this guy has a problem, right?
Yeah.
And rather than look, he's doing there's something behind something, and I can't give you the details, but it's not me or something like that, you know?
Yeah. You're talking about the John stuff, innit?
Yeah, and then again, his mom's low, so she's gonna start digging them. Yeah. Well, you know.
So it's kind of best just tell your mum because we're gonna find out more than she needs to know.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know how nosy Lois reporter is.
It's the whole thing. Yeah, it's just been annoying. But,
Yeah. Your both your parents are reporters, so geez, you know, you might just give it up. Whatever. But yeah, okay, so yeah. The main story has it is set up to like so. Okay, General Lane is no longer in control of the DoD,
No.
and
He's
then you
retired,
got
isn't
and then you
Yeah.
got General Mitch Anderson, super racist. Oh no, super xenophobic, right?
Yeah.
Just comes in there and just basically says to Superman, "I don't trust you. Whatever you say, I'm just going to do the opposite. Why? Because I'm a dick like that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting from him, right?
Yeah.
He's like, well, General Lane tolerated your alien presence, right? But me,
I hate
I'm
you,
all-
aliens, sort of
yeah,
thing.
yeah, I'm all American blood, right? So that means I'm like, if he goes to a foreign country on holiday, he's just going to murder everyone because he's like, oh, what you people do not speak in English. Shut up, man. You're in the foreign country.
Well, maybe he doesn't come off racist. He just comes
No. But that's the logic that I'm getting from this guy. Not saying okay. No, he's not racist or anything like that. But you know when you're just like, look, whatever you say, I'm just going to do the opposite. Why? Because you said so.
Yeah.
From the beginning, he's like this, and he's like,
Yeah, he's just so like douchey for no reason. Like Superman trying to be nice to him, like, yeah, you know, we can work together. No, like, oh,
no, exactly.
okay.
And as we know, because Superman is like very cordial or polite and everything like that, and he comes with the non-threatening presence, even though he's like the ultimate alpha, I'd say, as in he's Superman, right? Who's he need to impress? He don't need to impress anybody, right?
Yeah.
They need to impress him, but he's certainly like, it's all right. You don't need to try and impress me. But this guy right away is just like, nah, Superman, you gotta try and impress me, and nothing you ever do will impress me because I don't like you.
It's not like
right.
Superman's ever given him anything to sort of feel like he can't be trusted.
Yeah.
It's not like in like the animated series or something when he got taken up by the dark side and the humans distrust him because of that. But in this universe, he's never given any reason for them to distrust him.
Yeah.
Well, that's another thing we speak about later as well.
Yeah. So basically, there's a mine in Smallville, right?
Yeah.
That has the kryptonite. I would like to say, well, the military are mining it, right?
Yeah, but not telling anybody why.
I assume from the Smallville TV series, obviously the meteor shower and whatnot, right? Because and then they embed into the lands of Smallville when they create mines, and so they're not mining for diamond, they're mining for kryptonite, something like that. Yeah, you have to kind of they kind of explain it. You kind of have to put your own logic to it. Go, all right, I assume this is what happened in this area.
Yeah.
For there to be the mines 20 odd years later. Because well, no, it'd be about 40 years later, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because he's been Superman for 20 years apparently.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. So they're mining something. Oh, yeah. Well, they're mining kryptonite, right? But no, they're mining something. Kryptonite to us, but it's like, and so Superman's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And Lieutenant Mitch Anderson is like, Superman, you need to go away. You need to go away. And obviously, it's because he wants to get his kryptonite to do stuff. So that's another reason for him to dislike Superman. It's like, well, first of all, we want to be all powered like Superman, right? I'm jealous of his abilities. And secondly, like, well, now that I can try and do stuff to get his abilities, I need to get him out of the way. So I need to be, if I'm rude enough, maybe he'll go run away and cry. Yeah. I don't know.
Douche.
I don't know.
It's hard to say he's a douche.
Yeah. John Henry Irons. Okay, so the last episode is like, oh yeah, John Henry and Natalie are living in Smallville last season, right?
Yeah, because it ends with, if I remember correctly, it ends with her landing on Earth, isn't it?
Yeah. And she goes, Mom, to Lois.
Yeah.
But I think John Henry Irons' genes are so dominant because that girl does not look like half.
No.
Yeah, so either that or Lois got weak genes. I don't know myself. But yeah, so yeah, they're struggling to live life because she looks at Lois as though Lois is her mum.
Yeah.
And John Henry Irons is like, no, it's this guy's wife, right? This guy being Superman, who's the guy who also killed her in our universe.
Yeah.
So she got issues. But I want to say at the same time, it's like, look, this is an alternate Earth. You can't expect everything to be the same. So, oh yes, okay, you're suppose you're 16 or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Cut you some slack here, but you can't. But you're on a whole different Earth now, so you understand the logic. Your logic codes. What you think kind of goes out the window.
Yeah,
Everything's
exactly.
the same. Yeah, and you need to apply yourself to how the rules are here. Is the best way I can say. I know it's clean cut to say when you're outside of the situation.
Yeah.
But you don't go to another country and start expecting the other country to do your stuff, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of different. I get what you mean.
Yeah.
But it's kind of different because it's a different world.
Yeah.
But I get what you mean. She's like, on the outside, it's easy to say, oh yeah, just deal with it. But
yeah,
you
exactly.
Get killed on TV.
exactly.
So yeah, it's kind of hard. And then the guy who killed your mum in this world is like the best superhero in the world. So
yeah. The thing is though, they like Clark is trying with her.
Yeah.
And she don't want to know, but not in a rude way. Just literally, you are the face of the man who killed my mum. So no matter how kind you are to me, and he is always kind, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's Clark, right? She just thinks it's a ruse, or waiting for him to switch or something like that. I'm like, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. But you think from outside, it's like man's trying hard. He's giving you time and space and whatever, right? And he's just trying not to be around you too much, but he needs to know how you're settling and stuff. Because he's now kind of friends with your dad. So yeah, it's an awkward one.
Yeah, that's super awkward.
Yeah.
Especially now she has brothers technically as well.
Yeah, exactly. Genetically, she has brothers. Would you say? Yeah.
Genetically, she's got half brothers. Yeah.
Wow. Sarah, who's the Lang's, who's Lana Cushing, not Lana Lang anymore, and Kyle Cushing's daughter. She went away on
summer camp or whatever it is, isn't it?
Yeah. And now she's come back and she's a bit of a
recluse.
Yeah. She's a bit separated from Jordan, right?
Yeah.
Who has the social anxiety issues. And this is one of the situations where if you just open your mouth and said something, right?
Yep.
Before that, because the longer it goes that you don't say anything, the worse it kind of becomes.
Yeah.
And it's not that bad.
No.
But you've kept it to yourself and you made it out to be so bad that you just got to a point where you prefer not to say anything. Even though it's sometimes not a huge issue. But so
teenagers, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So then and then deep in the mines that Mitch Anderson's trying to get the kryptonite from, you see a gloved hand punching through.
Yeah.
And then people are like, oh, is this like it's in the suit as well? Well, the green kind of suit and stuff. And people are like, oh, is this Doomsday punching his way out the mines? Right?
For a moment, they actually got me with that as well. I was like,
I do like the not the bait and switch, but we'll get to that in just a minute, right?
Yeah.
But I do like how they kind of in this it worked, right?
Yeah.
Their expectations, what people what they fed, but then the reason behind certain things, why it went that way, you're like, but no, it's not bait and switch. It was just more like, yes, okay, we'll imply it's this way,
yeah,
but it's not, and there's a logical reason. Whereas when in episode 1, season 1, Captain Luther, right, the suit is calling him Captain Luther, and then turns out it's John Henry Irons who's Steel, and I'm like, but that's kind of that's just try to trick us sort of mentality.
It did in a way, but I like that switch.
No, but the thing is, I don't mind the switch being John Henry Irons.
Yeah.
I just mind the computer calling him Captain Luther.
Yeah.
When he's nothing to do, like, okay, he stole the suit, right? But if the suit said, for example, it said Luther on it.
Yeah.
Right. So you assume it's property of Lex Luthor. You're like, all right, and it calls him Captain. Then it makes more sense. Right?
Yeah, that does make sense. Yeah.
Because then you just put the two together and you say, oh, he's Captain. And he's got Luther on it, so he must be Captain Luther.
Yeah.
Then you tricked yourself. Yeah. But if the computer's calling him Captain Luther, you just assume that he's Luther.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh no, but he's Steel. And it's just like, but you didn't trick us. You basically told us a lie.
Yeah. Now you put it that way. Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
That's kind of crappy. Yeah.
Yeah. So but through episode 1, Clark's have these funny visions. What would you call them?
Like
Flashes of.
Yeah, weird dreams, really. Like it is visions of things that he thinks are real.
Yeah.
But it's like in reverse.
Yeah.
Things
that. It's like alternate universe sort of things, right? But his powers start going a little bit haywire sometimes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So he visits his brother, Tao Rao.
Yeah.
The main villain of the last season.
Yeah.
Who's trapped in a
Red Sun chamber, innit?
Yeah. In the military's Red Sun chamber, because military somehow have these, I allow it, contingencies for Superman essentially, aren't they?
Yeah.
And they had for 20 plus years to do it. So fair enough. Fair enough. They didn't use it on Superman at that time, but yeah, okay. You never know with other Kryptonians.
No.
Yeah, and he's like, well, you know what? Tara was like, you take me to the fortress and I will help you with your problem. And he's like, Tara, you just tried to destroy everyone and everything on this earth.
Yeah, well, I don't trust you.
Exactly. He was like, what's your logic? Thinking that I don't even know if you know anything.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you're just going to be like, yeah, but I might be able to help you. I don't know if I can.
But I will try.
Yeah.
Quick.
No, yeah, exactly. Might as well just say the kid. Like Clark's like, you're probably better off saying that occasionally. You know what I mean? Until you prove to me you know something, because you don't seem like you do.
Yeah. Seems like pulling my leg here, mate.
Yeah. Well, no, but he might have. The thing is that the way they play it is like he might have, but at the same time he might not have. And you like, I understand why Superman's just hesitant, very hesitant, as you would be, right?
Yeah, of course. You trying to like literally destroy your planet?
Yeah.
So
yeah. So then Superman fights. He's fighting a villain, and he gets beat up. Oh, there's it. He's fighting a guy who has super strength.
Right?
Yeah. In the military base, because these guys are basically just like, okay, we're gonna do stuff in the military base. Because they're going on fire and wire at the moment, but they're basically the military mines in Smallville. They're like, we're gonna take the stuff that they've been taking from the mines, and then they huff and puff like in
inhalers to give strength.
Yeah. Green dust inhalers, right? Quote unquote, but we know, kryptonite dust essentially, is what it is. But we don't know at this point. And he's getting beat up. He's standing there and he's like, and he's handling the situation, but not because his vision starts screwing him up, and then he just takes a punch and he goes flying into the car, and then he basically starts getting stomped.
Yeah.
And then Tag Harris comes in and rescues him. Tag Harris being the speedster from
season 1.
Yeah. Which was he a classmate of the Sons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he got exposed to something when Jordan accidentally did an I-beam in that party. Yeah. Near that mine as well. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. But it's like, okay, because there was an episode in season 1 where Tag Harris was running and Superman was chasing after him.
Yeah.
So it's like, things are.
And he was phasing in and out.
Yeah.
Couldn't control his powers. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. So, but here he's more like. They've got Superman suit, but they're not. They've got S-Shield costumes.
Yeah.
And Superman's like, Mitch Anderson, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Co-opting my symbol.
I should sue you for copyright infringement.
Yeah, well, it's just like, these people aren't Kryptonians, and they're definitely not associated with me. They're associated with you, and you hate me. So what's your logic?
There isn't any.
Exactly. Mitch Anderson's like, I hate you so much, I'll steal your symbol away from you and make it mine. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, that's what I think of.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like something petty that this character would do.
Yeah.
What a loser.
So.
And I think this is where Clark's vision started getting more and more in it, and his powers would keep going on fritz.
Yeah.
Because the thing in the suit is getting closer and closer.
Yeah, to the mind, of exiting the breaking through, right? It's the
Yeah.
best way. Well, okay, without going too far forward, it's smashing its way from the rubble out of into the opening, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best. The opening being where is I don't want to say the entrance of the cave, but the area that people can walk in and out of. You know, where they've cleared the area, the tunnel.
Yeah.
That's it, the tunnel. Yeah,
That's the word. Yes.
So yeah. So then it breaks free and starts beating up everyone.
Yeah.
Beating up the military in the area.
Yeah.
And it's it is attacking like Doomsday because it's like smashing stuff, throwing cars and everything. It's in like the big massive it's not a boiler suit, was it? It's like a radiation suit, right?
Yeah, like a compression radiation suit, so it wouldn't mess him up going through wherever he came from.
Yeah. And it's fine lumbering style, right? And short range. So you're like, okay, if this is Doomsday, fair enough. And it's quite big as well. Yeah. And then Superman comes along and fights. Yeah. Yeah. And it's just like, this is where Superman burns the monster.
Yeah.
Well, burns part of the costume. And then he sees himself, but like a scarred version of himself. And you're like, right? Well, part of his face, right?
Yeah.
And then I think he gets away.
Yeah.
And then Superman's like, oh no, because I think Clark started having some more visions. I think they both started having visions at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they're like, yeah, I gotta get. Oh, by the way, yes, John Henry Irons was helping during this time as well.
Yeah.
I think he was doing pretty well. He did the thing where he jumped up on the rock, and he called his suit, and Iron Man style it came over him.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, and he was doing pretty well against.
Because going back a tiny bit, he infiltrated the mine to find out what was down there.
Yeah, him and Lois.
Yeah.
Infiltrated the mines, and then it burst through as they were in there.
Yeah.
I think they were in range there. I think he was knocked out for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then he came to help. Yeah. And then obviously problems start happening because. Well, no, that's going a bit forward, right? But yeah, we find out it's Bizarro because obviously white skin, pale Superman, whatever, right? And he gets away. So then, and I think so then. Well, Clark has one of his problems with vision problems, and he starts. He's telling Jonathan and Jordan off, right? And he's just shouting at them, like he's gonna proper burn them with heat vision. I'm like, wow, yeah, he's having mental issues as well. What's that about? But then we know it's about because there's something off with him and the quote unquote the thing, which is the Bizarro. We don't know why, of course, right?
No.
Not yet, anyways.
Not yet, anyway. No.
Then there's the side story where Lucy Lane is involved with a cult.
Yeah. Who believe in finding their better halves to become full.
Yes, something like that, right?
Something like that.
Something like that.
Weird.
So Lois hasn't seen Lucy Lane, and this is where you're like, okay. So we assumed at the time this took place in Earth Prime, so the Crisis made all these changes.
Yeah.
But it's unveiled now, right? This is a separate universe.
Is it unveiled now? Or is it like the last episode?
The last episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Because they say in the last episode, your dad's the only hero, blah blah blah, right?
Yeah.
So everything's changed. Lucy Lane was never like a Supergirl where she was part of the DEO or anything like that, right? Yeah. This is a whole new fresh thing. But you kind of, from the beginning of season one, yeah. Well, no, but when he told the first thing, he was like when he started the narration of season one, this is the first thing I remember, blah blah blah. He was like, oh, maybe that's his Crisis memories, overlaying the Earth Prime memories, overlaying the pre-Crisis memories, right?
Yeah.
Because it would have been difficult to say, this is how I remember it before, and this is how I remember it now. It's just too much, right?
Yeah. To
just go to the cleanest way possible and just say, look, this is where it start from. Go, but they they decided, the producers, go even all the people behind this decided to make it even cleaner and go, forget all of that, right?
Yeah.
Here it is, fresh new Earth. I don't know why they didn't just say that in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah, why don't they?
Because people were suspecting, right? Why is there nothing collected? Why you get no other heroes? Why aren't we getting a Supergirl appearance or anything like that?
Yeah, or mention.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's weird because when Diggle shows up twice, it kind of.
Yes.
But then, another word Diggle, I guess, isn't it?
Well, he's not. Yeah, exactly. Apparently, he can transverse universes.
Yeah.
What? All right, only him. Okay. Yeah, that's got to. Yeah, it's a bit. Anyways, yeah. So.
Yeah, so that's all going on.
Yeah.
Where she's part of that cult, like you said.
And her Lois on the outs because of it.
Yeah.
There's like
because Lois basically exposed the cult by using Lucy for an interview or something like that. So Lucy ran away and never stopped speaking to Lois.
Because Lucy nearly killed herself as part of the whatever the cult thing is. I think it was like the baptism or something like that.
Yeah.
And then Lois is like, I have a vengeance against them because you tried to kill my you people nearly killed my sister, right?
Yeah.
She tried to expose the cult and everything, and then the problem is, of course, when one person is indoctrinated and the other person can see how bad it is.
Yeah.
Then you're both going to have issues.
Yeah.
And everything's going to be more on edge as to we can't compromise, right?
No.
Because our line of thinking is completely different.
Yeah.
Unless there's some massive proof, right? And even then, you know what's going to happen is like we're just going to be in denial of that proof.
Yeah.
As you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah. And we will also speak about at this point where Jordan has powers and they're on the football team. He's on the football team, and the other John, he's also on the football team, but he's always on the bench because
he's just an average Joe, basically.
Yeah. And then he's seeing the other people inhaling, taking the inhalers.
Yeah, there's one kid that before a year ago in their time was always on a bench as well, but now he's sort of like got stronger and he's benching like 300 pounds and stuff like that.
And here's the thing, right? He's not that built.
No.
I want to say like obviously I'm not gonna shame his size or anything, but he hasn't got any muscularity to him. And I want to say not necessarily he's fat, but a little bit overweight or whatever. But just like the body type you don't expect.
Yeah.
Because obviously we know Keith Lee, right? He's massive. He can do all sorts of crazy stuff, right?
Yeah.
But as your kids, and you're like, wait a minute, your body size and your abilities don't match.
Yeah.
At all.
No.
So he starts. He's
and
like
John's the only one who sort of like clocks onto it, like this doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, he had the summer, he's sorted life out. I was like, no, this isn't right. Like a normal person would think, but hey,
Yeah. So he's like, all right, well, I see this boy huffing and puffing some of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Let me get some of that stuff as well, and then I can also be on the football team as well. Because if it's like I can do it, I can do it, and then while that's going on, Jordan's dealing with Sarah.
Yeah.
Because she's keeping the secrets from him, and he's like, "Oh, you can tell me anything," and she's like, "No, we can't. I can't. I'll break up with you. In fact, I'll tell you that much, right?" And he's like, "No."
But in Sarah's defense, Jordan's a bit too clingy.
Yeah. I know they play up the social anxiety of it, right?
Yeah.
And I think he had less issues overall this entire season.
Yeah.
But he is like one of those where he's trying to find answers, right?
Yeah.
And she don't want to give answers.
Yeah.
And he presses too much, and she's like, forget it, right?
Yeah.
At the same time, right, she could also tell him and resolve it. So they're kind of both.
But they're both in the wrong.
She's creating a further problem by not telling him, right? But he's also creating another problem by keep on jabbing at it.
Yeah.
But
especially
then again,
like because he knows she's got family stuff going on as well.
yeah,
But he just keeps pressing that one issue. Like, dude, let her deal with sort of one thing at a time.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
not really.
well, it's one of those times where you're like, look, I don't know about the breaking up yet, but you need to take a separation for a little bit while you sort out something. But she could just say to him, look, I just need to sort out this thing here,
Yeah.
and then we'll work out us, right?
Yeah.
No, she's just like, clean break, get away from me.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. No, she's not as dramatic as that, of course.
No. But he makes it more dramatic than it is.
Yeah, exactly. He takes it. He doesn't take it particularly well. It's
No.
like, If he could throw a Superman fit, then a Superboy fit, he probably would have at that point.
Yeah.
But I think he just stands there having a mental breakdown.
Yeah.
Not mental breakdown, but like visually, and you look at him and you're like, inside his head, he's just falling apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though like his mum tells him like, dude, you need to come like give her a space. No, mum, but I love her.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. So, yeah. So, okay. So, Bizarro is going around. He's got a pendant around his neck, right?
Yeah.
And he is trying to find Ali Elston. And we obviously don't know for what yet, but we know so it's like Bizarro's. The cult has something to do with Bizarro.
Yeah.
Or Bizarro has business with the cult, right? We don't know exactly what's what at this point, right? But he's trying to find her, and I'm like, all right. So she's strange and elusive, when she needs to be, right?
Yeah.
But she's in your face, obviously, when she needs to be as well.
Yeah.
It's one of those things you're like, okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's in the Arctic somewhere. I think. Oh, he's trying to find. So he's got. Is he looking for the pendant?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because at this point, there's the fake there's Superman team, the military Superman team, right?
Yeah.
These two jabronis, I'll call them jabronis because they're just there to be jabronis, right?
Yeah.
And Tag,
Cannon fodder. Yeah.
Yeah. Tag comes in there with his super speed, and you got two other people with abilities, but exactly what abilities you have because you just got killed by Bizarro, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tag grabs the necklace, and basically Superman arrives and said, "You got to get out of here."
Yeah.
And he just takes the necklace and runs, and then John Henry Irons, Steel, and Superman find Bizarro, and obviously Clark having problems. He needs more of a backup from Steel, whose armor is low because it hasn't been fully charged yet.
Yeah.
And I think he took a punch to the head or something from Bizarro before, so he's not exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he tries to help, causes himself more issues, and gets hospitalized.
Yeah.
And then after he's like, oh, start blaming Superman for it. And it's like, yeah. And Superman's like, no, he saved me. I understand, right? From the monster.
Yeah.
The Bizarro, like your dad's a hero. And then she's basically like, no, you almost killed my dad. Yeah. I thought, by the way, later on at some point they were going to have. So he basically just recovers from this.
Yeah.
With no problems whatsoever. I thought I don't know if it's going to say. My thinking of it was, okay, she's going to build her armor and then she's going to have to take his place for a little bit.
Yeah.
But that kind of isn't what happened. He just he gets hospitalized to recover later. I don't know, because I was expecting something a bit more. Maybe like after he comes out of the hospital, he's like, I'm going to have to make the armor a bit stronger, maybe make a version 2 or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, none of that kind of went that way either.
Yeah, I was alright with that. He did have like weird, like, I want to say CTE moments where he's like, "Oh, where's your mum?" And she's like, I'm dead."
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh yeah."
But in some ways, that helped her.
Yeah.
Because she's got to he's got to deal with his he's the concussion or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And she's got to set him straight, not in a rude way, right? But that helps her deal with it as well, because it's just like, look, she's been in denial kind of all this time, right? In the fringes of denial, okay. And yeah, having to tell him what it is kind of helps her
deal with it,
accept it, yeah. Because he's not in denial, but he just can't remember straight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, kind of in a way, she's helping him move through that, and helping herself as well. So it's like, yeah, okay. The logic is there. The logic's fine.
Yeah, it was good.
Lana Lang is running for mayor.
Yeah.
The mayor of Smallville, right?
Yeah.
No. She tried to help some dude run for mayor of Smallville.
Yeah, then he backs out because he got a better job, something like that.
Well,
something stupid.
Well, the current mayor of Smallville.
Yeah.
Okay, in my mind, right, the current mayor of Smallville goes in there. He says some stuff, right, and he looks slimy and yeah, like you're scummy as well, yeah.
Yeah.
And then yes, the other guy got the contender got a better job offer, and basically upped and left, right?
Yeah, which obviously the mayor somehow has something to do with it. You can tell.
Yeah, I'm thinking personally, not that he kind of, he's like smug to Lana and says, "Oh, you have to be careful in this race here because if people find out things that you want to keep a secret, well,
yeah,
things happen." And it could have a detrimental effect to your credibility. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah. So it's like, right. So you like you say, either he managed to get a better job somehow because of the other guy's connections, or he got pushed out.
Yeah.
He got a helping hand with some assistance there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what, and then they basically say to Lana, Lana. Wait, who was it? Yeah, one of the people that Lana worked with say basically this guy's gonna have an iron fist rule. We already started trying to contend against him, but seeing as everything's all set up, why don't you run for mayor? People in Smallville trust you.
Yeah, people know you. Yeah,
I can do it.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. So you're like. So these storylines are running through all kind of at once ish.
Yeah, which is
which is pretty decent. Yeah, even though you want to know what the main storyline with Bizarro is, you kind of like, all right, well at least the Lois and Lucy stuff connects that, right?
Yeah.
And then the Jordan, the boys with the school kids and the football is connected to the kryptonite, which is coming out of the mines.
Yeah.
So that's connected there. This Lana storyline is kind of not connected to anything really.
No. Well, is it? It's not really connected to her marriage falling apart either, is it? No.
Well,
actually, it kind of does.
Yeah. It's the reason. Well, no. Okay. So Lana's running for mayor. Obviously, she got threatened by the current mayor of Secrets. Turns out her husband had an affair at one point.
Yeah.
With a bartender lady from, I don't know what.
I think it's
the bar across town. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what exactly. They don't show what the bar is.
No.
Yeah, but he's like, oh no, yeah. He's trying to hush that lady. Even the bartender ladies not exactly going to saying, oh yeah, I'm sleeping with Carl. I slept with Carl Cushing or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it said now they have to be extra aware.
Yeah.
Because it might get dug out and then used against them. And he's like, oh, ruin my wife's aspirations. And the bartender lady is like, I'll just, I don't want to do anything to you. We're no longer together. We had our thing, but yeah, I ain't got no. I ain't sour. I ain't gonna do nothing to hurt you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll keep the secret. So if anything, it's just kind of cool. Whatever they did. So he broke up to keep the marriage, right?
Yeah.
With the bartender lady, whenever he was having marital issues. But yes, it's kind of nice of her to say, look, yeah, if you're happy now, that's fine. Our thing happened. I'm not going to ruin what you got now. And I'm like, oh, you know what? Yeah. At the same time, it's like, well, Carl, you kind of a bit of a,
Yeah.
Though you somehow managed to choose a good lady to have an affair with because she's like, yeah.
Yeah, I'll keep your secret.
Yeah. I'm, even though I had an affair with you, I know you're trying to get back together. I'm cool with that. Leave it be,
Yeah.
So it's like, okay. Yeah.
Sure, makes sense. a nice lady. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So Bizarro's been captured by Superman. He brings her to the. No, he brings him to the fortress.
Yeah.
No, Talron's fortress, was it? Or was it his fortress? No, it's his fortress because his mum speaks to it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he speaks. Actually, I skipped a bit, right? They have a fight, Bizarro and Superman.
Yeah.
And he starts using the reverse powers.
Yeah.
And Superman's like, right, okay, so what I'm going to do, I need to make it weaker, right? No, did he try to use kryptonite against it? No, he didn't, did he? What he did
he
was,
tried to, and it's like, this doesn't work for me, dude. You know.
Yeah, exactly. And so then they accidentally, because I know he doesn't direct him into the mines, right? But they kind of crash into the mines and the caves, the kryptonite caves on the during the battle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and kryptonite weakens the Bizarro.
Yeah.
So somehow, right? No, yeah. Somehow, the stuff they're mining is kryptonite.
Yeah.
So it's reverse kryptonite for some reason. But I can only assume it comes from Bizarro's world when we find out more later.
Yeah.
Like from the beginning, I was like, oh yeah, maybe it's like I said, the stuff like the meteors from Smallville crashed because it gives people power. Like in Smallville, the 2001 series, so you kind of apply your own logic there, even though it proves incorrect.
Yeah.
A bit later on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Superman just basically grabs a piece of kryptonite and starts punching Bizarro with it. I was like, all right, that makes sense. Yeah, so he knocks him out, takes him to the fortress. It speaks, but you don't understand it. And then
it speaks backwards.
Yeah, and then his mother, the vision of his mother, no, the AI of his mother, speaks to it. And then they work out he's speaking reverse.
Yeah.
And he's like, look, yeah, we need to stop Ali Allison. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, now I'm remembering. That's why they had to fight to begin with, because Lois went to Ali Allison saying, you stay away from my sister, you freak, right?
Yeah.
And she's got the other necklace. Bizarro then starts coming in that direction. And then they're like, oh no. But then I think Lois calls for Clark.
Yeah.
He then comes in the other direction and then he crashes into Bizarro. They have their fight. Which is a pretty good fight, actually.
Yeah, it was.
Considering it was reverse powers and the whatnot, you know. And I think it was nice how Clark hadn't encountered Bizarro before, which is weird when you look at it in certain ways, right? Because you think he's been a superhero for 20 years.
Yeah. He wants to experience something like that before.
Yeah. But then again, you know, in the Spider-Man game where Dr. Octopus...
Yeah.
He's been Spider-Man for 8 years, and this is the first time he's encountered Dr. Octopus.
Yeah.
And he hasn't even encountered the Green Goblin yet, or Venom, so...
Yeah, makes
you
sense.
know, you kind of just make allowances, you know, for the story. Yeah, because I was like, is he gonna know Bizarro before, and this is a different version of a Bizarro, like with a different origin. So technically, he's not Bizarro, but he is. He's not the genetic experiment that Luthor created or anything like that.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Bizarro
yeah. Yeah, but he's a Bizarro, and this is the first ever encounter with Bizarro. Even though, see, this is what is also funny, because in Supergirl there was a Bizarro Supergirl. Yeah. There was a Bizarro Supergirl. So she had never encountered a Bizarro before.
Yeah.
And she didn't even know that Clark must have encountered Bizarro. He must have never encountered Bizarro during his time either, during Supergirl's timeline, right?
Yeah.
And then here, where Bizarro is just not being encountered again. But that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. I mean, it does help the story being told the way that this Bizarro's done it is done, yeah. So, so Mitch Hansen has dependent now, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. Well, yeah. Superman wants this for some reason, right? So I'm going to keep it. You're like, why?
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, you could just work together, right, and work out the problem is. Nah. I'll keep my secrets. He can keep his secrets, and we just make the problem even worse. Fair enough.
Yeah. Fair enough. And then is this the next episode where we go to Bizarro World?
No. I think that's is it?
I can't remember.
That might be a bit later.
Yeah.
That might be later because I think Jordan gets caught with the kryptonite. He goes. His girlfriend, conveniently, Jonathan's girlfriend is the one dealing with the XK kryptonite inhalers.
Yeah.
The cheerleader girlfriend, who doesn't take it herself, by the way. Yeah.
No.
Because she obviously knows how dangerous stuff can be, but she's handing it over to John because then John can be on the football team, and she's like, "Yeah, the thing is, right? We live in a trailer or something like that. We live in a really poor kind of state because my dad had an accident, whatever. I have to make money, right?
Yeah.
And I make money mining the kryptonite, whatever, and selling it." And he's like, all right. I won't grass you up. I won't. If you're the supplier, right? I'm not going to get you in trouble. What I want you to supply me some.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Blackmail.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know if you want to, yeah. I mean, she wants, I guess the logic is she wants her boyfriend to succeed as well. Even though I don't know if you should be ever I don't know about taking from your own supplier and stuff like that.
Yeah.
As far as they know, there aren't any adverse effects, but
No.
whatever, right? So later on, Jonathan gets so Jordan catches Jonathan huffing that stuff, and then basically he's like, "Look, you got to stop this." And then Jonathan's like, "Yo, you take this," and he punches him in the face.
Yeah.
All right, that's a bit of an escalation right there, right? And I'm like, Jonathan, you do realize, by the way, you might have temporary powers from this kryptonite, and you might have like the strength and vulnerability, yeah. This guy's got more powers than you, and he's gonna have them constant. So, yeah, if he decides, to shove you against the wall where you have no kryptonite, you could get really hurt. He could just be like, "You need to calm down," and flick you across the head, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, obviously, I want to say social anxieties and whatever you want to do it to your brother, but at the same time, it's just like, look, man, you flex on me, yeah. Just remember, I've got these all the time. You only have these.
You have them for like half an hour a day. I have it all day, every day.
Exactly. But no. Jordan takes the punch to the face. He goes down. The coach comes in. There's an issue here, and obviously Jordan's like, no, there's no issue. While he's holding his face while it hurts, and the usual. Oh yeah, no, coach, it's all fine. Even though I fell over. I slipped on the floor.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly. Lana finds out that her husband had an affair, and the only reason he stopped having his affair was when Sarah started slashing herself.
Yeah.
That attempt, kind of. Her accident, her quote unquote.
Yeah.
So that's that. And she kicks him out of the house.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she tells him to move out, right? And he's like, well, yeah. Essentially, when you kick, that is a kick out of the house, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Get your stuff, be gone. Yeah, kick him out of the house.
Superman goes to Anderson and says, "Yeah, well, look, we need to get our intelligence that we have and come together, right? I've got Bizarro, who can help feed this information. Yeah, if you got anything to help." And he's like, "Well, you got Bizarro? Well, are you going to tell me where he is?" And Superman's like, "No, I'm not going to tell you where he is. Yeah,
yeah,
because you're gonna go and do stuff that you shouldn't be doing, right? And you hate me already, yeah. So you're probably not gonna listen to me." But and he's like, "Well, yeah, let me hold up, Superman. let me just depower you and arrest you and throw you in the cell right next to your brother right now, because you're not gonna tell me where Bizarro is. Like, right? You kind of just proved me right why I don't need to trust you."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Anyways, dash him in the cell, dash him in the kryptonite, red sun radiation cell, right next to his brother, his evil brother, so they can plot stuff, because that's what they kind of do.
Yeah.
Like you look in the scene. Oh, okay. I'll allow it for the storyline purposes, right? That they could probably only have the equipment to build one red sun radiation cell.
Yeah.
So they kind of have to put them both there, and they don't have to. How are they going to create a temporary divide between them? That's going to stop them talking. They can't really do that because
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So Tyrell's just sitting there on his chair with his book, waiting for Clark to revive himself. Like, oh, you're a Joker. You are a Joker. Yeah, full villain mode. I'd say no, not full villain mode. He's just like, you know, when there's villains just waiting for the hero. That's what it was. Chilling like a villain. That's what he was doing. And then he was like, so here's the thing, Clark, right? Here's the thing, Cal. This is where you went wrong with the humans, see, right? And he's like, just giving them kind of not a lecture, but kind of not. But he's just like, yeah, see what I did, because these humans right here, yeah, that you're protecting, that just done it to you, you know?
Yeah, listen to your older brother, Cal.
Exactly. I mean, who was right now, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh man, you're kind of rubbing his face, but not.
Yeah.
You're trying to be reasonable because you need him to get you out there as well. Oh, you're a bunch of jokers. You are a bunch of jokers. Yeah. So Anderson's like, so Cal, right? So Superman, I want you to tell me where the Bizarro is. And he's like, no. And he goes, well, I'll tell you what then, yeah. Come, my two military cohorts, right? If you just hold Tyrell, I'm gonna throw a couple of. What's the word? When you kind of not interrogate, but you just like use the other person as. I'm gonna make him talk, but not by torturing the other person.
Oh yeah. No, I forgot what the word's called. But yeah, I get what you mean. I'm trying to remember what the word is.
Yeah. So it is the mental torture of some degree.
Yeah.
But yeah, but Superman, obviously this is the thing with Superman, right? People think that he only has his abilities from his powers, but he can actually fight.
Yeah.
Even though you would say most of the time he uses his abilities, so therefore he does not need to fight, right? But when he's fighting someone on his same capable level, he still would you say he's more of a brawler, right?
Yeah, I think more of a brawler. Yeah.
I don't know. It's not a straight brawler, but more like I don't want to say he has a defined fighting style, but he knows how to fight.
Yeah.
And I assume that Tyrell must have had some Kryptonian training, but we don't know that either. But anyways, they break out. They fake a fight between each other to break out, right? Your fault, I'm here, blah blah blah. And then they run off to Tyrell's fortress, where Superman has actually placed Bizarro, because he obviously couldn't. But he was like, in case they go to his fortress, put him somewhere else. I was like, oh, okay, that's actually kind of smart, because last we knew he was in the fortress of Solitude.
Yeah.
Exactly. But you never know, because that's where I assume, this is my logic, right? Where that's where the Bizarro went for the pendant.
Yeah.
So if they search that area for something, they might come across the fortress and therefore take him elsewhere. All right, fair enough.
Same,
yeah, exactly. So Superman and Bizarro and his Bizarro Tyrell.
Yeah.
Were just as Tyrell and Superman. Well, no, they were actually brothers because their relationship was inverse. It seems, right?
Yeah.
Until Tyrell's wife tried to kill him. Who's Tyrell's wife? ... In the Bizarro land. Well, we'll find out later. Anderson then decides, right? Well, okay. So Superman's brother, and the Bizarro creature, which has a Superman S chest, right? I killed my troops, yeah. They must be all co-plotters or whatever they are. He's just making some logic jumps, right?
Yeah.
And he's just like, okay, well, I'll get some XK, and I'll take the weapons from the Anti-Superman project. I'm gonna call it the Anti-Superman project, but you know what I mean. The Superman
Defense League, whatever it is.
Yeah. Those weapons. And I will find that somehow, right, he does locate Tyrell's fortress. I think he knew where it was. I think the military knew where it was.
Yeah.
But then obviously no Bizarro is there.
No.
Yeah. He's like, look, they can only be here, there, or there, right? So
Yeah, multiple choices, isn't it? Yeah.
exactly. So he goes over there and he's like, "Yep, okay. I'll fight them all somehow." This is the thing as well when you think of it this way. So you find basically 3 Supermen, yeah?
Yeah.
And you think you can take them all, but that's how much your hatred, your logic is, right?
Yeah.
It's like you don't even think, all right, well, 3 of them superpowered, right? I don't know what this XK, how much of this XK is going to help me, yeah?
Yeah, but you're like, no, I don't care. I'm gonna fight them all because
Yeah, exactly.
I'm that insane.
And he does.
Yeah.
He does do pretty good actually. He does snap the neck of the Bizarro. He does fight the Bizarro,
Yeah.
and then he realizes because he has to huff some more XK,
Yeah.
and the mere presence of XK is detrimental to Bizarro. So it's like weakening Bizarro at the same time powering Anderson.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, this logic, how Anderson kills the Bizarro, fair enough, right?
Yeah.
It makes sense because it's like your strength is his weakness. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So Superman's bringing Tyrell to the sun to allow him to heal.
Yeah.
Because he obviously got injured by Anderson. So he conveniently removed from the situation, I'll say that. But it's like, so the sun is all the way up there, right?
Yeah.
Earth is down here.
Yeah.
How fast and how far do you have to fly to get there?
I don't know. It must not be that far because they do it really quick.
But that's the thing, isn't it? I'm like, well, fair enough, Superman. I mean, you're Superman.
Yeah.
Your abilities are whatever they need you to be for the situation.
Yeah.
Because like there are times when Superman's punching people. I know in the show, right, the punch can't be too super consistent, but when he's punching people and they fly certain distances, or sometimes they move at all, or when he's backslapping humans and stuff like that, So it's just one of those things where you're like, okay, you got to allow for the inconsistency. Like when Spider-Man No Way Home, he's punching Doc Ock. Spider-Man's webbing and web shooting and shoving Doc Octopus. He doesn't really punch him, right? But Doc Ock's taking them. And he's not flying anywhere. And somehow his reaction speeds are the same as Spider-Man's. You're like, that doesn't make any sense.
No.
No, but you're like, all right, whatever. I mean, it's a good fight. It's a cool fight. They think about these things. You don't think about these things. You start ruining stuff.
Yeah. Big time. You gotta let things go.
Yeah. Yeah. So... But then the military, like, okay, all right. Anderson's gone a bit nuts. So we gotta arrest him. Yeah. Yeah, he's gone a bit too far. He's just attacking people for no reason. Obviously, the rest of the military seems to be kind of fine with Superman as a presence.
Yeah, strangely. Yeah.
I don't want to say that like they're on good terms because of General Lane, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, Anderson. But this they're like. Anderson, I don't even know why they appointed him because it makes no sense now when you think about it. Okay, so you're going to appoint a guy to be there, your point of contact with Superman, and he hates Superman.
Yeah.
You'd be like...
You're setting yourself up for trouble right now.
Yeah, exactly. If anything, you don't want someone that's too much of a Superman fan, boy.
Yeah.
But too against him because then you can still call it down the middle.
Yeah.
But hey, they
I guess he was the best man for the job, qualification.
Well, that's the thing, right? To be fair, his military record might have shown that he was the best guy for the job, just the same as our boy John Walker.
Yeah.
Captain America.
Yeah.
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Statistically speaking, and by the books and everything, he was the best guy to be a replacement Captain America.
Yeah.
Personality-wise and all that other stuff, well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So but I could assume by their logic they had a logical reason for making Mitch Anderson the successor.
Yeah.
To General Lane. Yeah.
John Walker.
What's her name? So Lana finds out. So Lana's already found out about the affair. She's moved past it. She's still trying to go on a mayoral campaign. And then the current mayor is like, well, you know what? Yeah. How can this, like in real life, because this actually did happen, right? How can this woman control Smallville, right? Be control any of Smallville or whatever, right? When she can't even control her own husband.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever read this in the news, right? But one of the PMs, one of the MPs, sorry, the campaigning, whatever, right? I don't know if it was Prime Minister. I can't remember exactly, right?
Yeah.
And basically, his daughter went out drinking, like, you know, being a 16-year-old kid or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And the guy, his competition basically said, look, he can't control his own daughter. What makes you think he controlled the country? And I was like, oh no, that's kind of, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a sly move, yeah. And I know, like, obviously you try to get the people on your side to do that, yeah. That's a bit low because teenage kids, you have to cut them a little bit more slack. They're still trying to find themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and they don't really like. They're at the rebellious stage of their lives, anyways. So, even if their parents told them, "Oh, don't go out drinking," whatever, they're gonna do what they.
Yeah.
Well, for whatever reason, to go decide to drink, right? I don't want to say peer pressure, or maybe she went to whatever, right?
Yeah.
To use that against them, though, and succeed as well. That's a bit of a slimy move. But politicians gonna be politicians. Is all I'm gonna say about that, right? Yeah. I mean, there's a reason. You know, like when you hear all the slimy politician stories, and like, well, yeah, they I don't want to say, oh, their power corrupt or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But in this particular storyline, that's what it is. It's just like, yeah, I'm gonna find dirt on you to keep my position.
Yeah.
It's like you're not necessarily the best man for the woman or man, or whatever, right? In this case, man, you're not the best man for the job, right? But you just keep everyone at bay because you know stuff. And it's just like, yeah, but I mean, to us audience watching, you're like, oh man, yeah, whatever. But these are how all these mayoral campaigns usually go in fiction, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Slimy. Yeah.
Yeah. So Mitch Anderson goes to Early Allison with the pendant, his half of the pendant that he got from Tag, and basically says, look, the military are trying to arrest me now. I've got nowhere else to go. But I trust I can go to you, yeah?
Yeah.
For some reason, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no, because Superman says that Ali Anderson has the pendant and I'm looking for it. So his logic is, yeah, I'm going to go to this lady who Superman tells me not to go to. Why? Because Superman told me not to go to her. That's why I'm going to go to her. I'm like,
sure. Okay.
Yeah. Logic is kind of dicey there.
Yeah.
Shouldn't you be pretending you don't have to look it? Pendant, whatever it is.
Exactly.
And say to her you can help her get it and then find out what's going on there first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they're sort of like flipping sides straight away. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, Mitch, you don't know what this woman is.
Nope.
You know, nobody. You're just on the outside. Like you've been exiled essentially, yeah. But that doesn't mean you should start making friends with your enemies or the people that people telling you not to. You know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Idiot. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So John Henry Irons wakes up after this, while Natalie's still trying to struggle to forgive Clark. Yeah, and I'm like, well, yeah, but kind of he's helping you out. He's basically said, look, there's an apartment that I have, right, that you guys can stay in Metropolis, right?
Yeah.
So you can stay away. You can be away from me and take your own time or whatever, right? That's that. Being so obviously kind-hearted, right? And she's still giving him beef. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. It's like whatever the guy does is always
It's never right. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So yeah. Chrissy, so Lois works at the the Smallville Gazette paper.
Yeah, I think it's called that. Yeah.
Yeah, and Chrissy is the owner. Well, she was the only one there.
Yeah. So she's technically out. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So Lois is like, one of us has to Ali Aston doesn't know who you are. So if you join the cult, right? We can take it out from the inside. We can prove to my sister and all the other people that this Ali Aston lady is not on point, right? Something's off key with her.
Yeah.
So plan enacted, right? Chrissy starts to potentially join the cult. Lucy Lane calls Lois and says, "Come over.
We need to talk.
I'll speak to you about the cult, right? And we can try and resolve our issues." Okay. So, but it was a trap all along by Ali Aston, quite an ingenious one, where she's like, Chrissy, I know you're part of the Small Gazette, and I know you work with Lois, right? And she's like, "No, me? No, I'm not that person. I'm someone else." And she goes, "No, don't try to lie to me. Not in a friendly way. Just like, come on, lady, give up the ghost. I mean, basically, you're exposed now. Come on, right? Okay. And tell you what, Chrissy, come. Let's watch the show. I'll show you what's going on. I'll show you why Lois why he hates me and everything like that, right?"
Yeah.
So Lucy is talking to Lois, and Lucy has a camera on, hidden behind something, right? That Lois don't see, and then she's all feeding Lois kind of questions to get specific reactions from Lois. So then Ali Aston can show live footage to Chrissy why Lois hates Ali Aston. And it's not by logic, right? Or anything like that. It's just like she wants to take her down because she's emotionally involved in the case or whatever like that. Yeah. And basically ruins Lois's credibility with Chrissy.
And Chrissy gets really upset.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, you see, you didn't want to find the truth about this lady. What you do is you hated her because of this and that and the other, because of your sister, because of the issues with your sister. More like, so Lois was looking after Lucy when their mum died, and Lucy's like, "I never wanted you to be my mum. You were supposed to be your replacement. You were meant to be my sister, blah, blah, blah," that sort of thing. And then Lois said, "Someone has to look after you, and especially going to this cult where, you know, they immediately try to kill yourself, and you're saying that you wanted to be whole, but you nearly died. What's that about?" And stuff like that. See, this woman is this Ali Aston woman. She's trying to kill you all. She's trying to lead you to your death, or some such, right? Some exaggeration, right? Yeah. And then Lois Lucy's like, "Oh, by the way, Lois, you're on candid camera." And Lois is like, "Oh, shucks.
You got me.
You got me good."
You got me, brother.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Jonathan is caught with XK in his...
Yeah.
No. Okay, so they're searching lockers, right? They're searching lockers because something's up with XK, yeah? I don't know. What would you say it's a random locker search, it just seemed like? But they're searching for specific things?
Yeah.
I mean, like in American schools probably do have a random locker searches.
Yeah, they do.
Okay. And Chrissy's like, "John, I can't lose my drug dealer side job."
Yeah. What's gonna happen to my crippled daddy? Yeah.
And he's like, Don't worry. Give it to me, I'll get rid of it, yeah? You can't be cool with this stuff, fair enough. And he gets cool with it.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Look, yeah, the school's like, get your mum down here. You get this drug dealing piece of trash out of our school." So that's that, right? And then they're like, Lois and Clark, right? For some reason, right? Here's the thing, but I accept that the bizarre behavior. Clark's like extra harsh to Jonathan.
Yeah.
But mostly because Jonathan's just refusing to tell them anything or give them any clue to anything. And it's just like, it's not like he's saying it's not mine or anything. Like, he's kind of stonewalling them and they can't get any answers from him.
Yeah. Which isn't helping his situation.
Yeah, exactly. Because obviously, like you say, they'll probably investigate. They'll probably find out anyways. Yeah, you give them enough, they'll pull on their string.
Yeah.
The problem is, of course, if you give them nothing, they're gonna have more reason to try and find something. And who's to blame anything, right? You're Jonathan, and your mother and your dad are well-renowned reporters. Yeah. So even if he just gives up the information right away, right, and he gets Chrissy in trouble. Well, technically, between his parents, the logic is that he could just say, "Look, they worked it out. They're not idiots. Look what their day jobs are."
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, you have to fudge the truth a little bit, right? But you don't want them as your adversaries in your house.
Yeah,
Kind of do want their help. But his reasoning for not saying it kind of makes sense. But then Jordan gets dragged into it. Jordan's like, "How long have you did you know about this?" Well, yeah, I mean, I kind of tried to tell him to stop. So, yeah.
Which gets him in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, right? So they rebond because Jonathan's like, look, thanks for not telling them that it was Chrissy. I know you know it's Chrissy, right? You saw her give the drugs to me. So yeah, being a bro. And he goes, "Look, man, I'm your bro. But you do have to take care of yourself as well, because at some point you're gonna make the situation can only get worse from here if you don't say nothing. I'm not gonna push you to say nothing though, and I'm not gonna say nothing if you're not ready to say anything. However, they're not idiots, you know." And don't be an idiot yourself. You're gonna make it all worse and then make them hate you, sort of situation. You're gonna be on the outs for too long. I don't know. However you want to put it, right? But you know how parents are as well. But can't Jonathan, I don't want to hear nothing from you. I'm like, wow, that's kind of
harsh.
Yeah. You don't want to talk, yeah? Then just don't. Just get away from me.
Yeah. You'll send him down the road of being becoming a supervillain.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah. Let's see. So football season's cancelled because of this, right? And they all say it's Jonathan's fault.
Yeah, because that's how it is. Makes sense.
And then Candace is now working in the Jonathan has to work.
Yeah.
As his penance, and then and he encounters Chrissy at the convenience store. Like she's working, right? And it's like, all right, Chrissy, so you couldn't work at the convenience store before? No. He's working at a convenience store.
Yeah.
I think she found another job as well. But it's just like, well, yeah. No. Sorry, mixed up here. She tries to stop her XK deliveries, right? Because she got Jordan in trouble. He's coming back from a convenience store, and basically she's in trouble. She calls him. He's like, "Yo, you XK dealer can't be giving this stuff to Chrissy." And he's like, "What are you gonna do about it?" He takes some XK and he beats up Jonathan, right?
Yeah.
Jordan is trying to deal with his stuff with Sarah, yeah. Because he's like, "Look, if I tell her I've got superpowers, yeah, then maybe she'll re-accept me." And we were like, I don't know how that logic works, but and he's thinking that because he's hiding stuff from her, that's why they broke up, right?
Yeah.
But it's actually her hiding stuff from him. Anyways, so he hears Jonathan getting beat up, and he's super speeds over there, shoves the XK dealer, and tells Jonathan. They tell Chrissy to get out. Candace to go away. Get away, drive off. While Jordan then is like, "Look, I'll shove you into the car and I'll deal with you." It's a couple of I want to say light slaps, but you know how Superman slaps are, right? So you fly. You mess, and obviously he has to wear his hood because he can't reveal it's him. Okay. Except when Jonathan's all limping up, right, to the XK, and he basically says, "Yo, right, I want to throw you a couple of punches myself," and then say, "So this is what happens to you, right? If you ever force XK on anyone again, right? Yeah, this guy will beat you up again. You see, so you get out of my face forever. Like, all right, fair enough. And he runs off because that's what them drug peddlers do when they encounter a bigger dog.
Yeah, they run their tail in between their legs.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. So then Anderson. So Ali Allison goes to the mines with the two pieces of dependent, right? With Mitch Anderson and Lucy Lane and some of her cult member followers, right? To send them to the okay. How does she word it? Because it's like to make them whole, right? But really, it's to kind of go into the bizarre world-ish to find your other half to combine. That's the best way to put it, right?
What? Say again?
They kind of they want to find their other halves in the bizarre world and combine to make themselves whole.
Yeah, to make the perfect being like Cell. Yeah.
yeah. But they got to find their alternates.
Yeah, which is weird, but
yeah.
Sure.
So, but some of the members don't go through the portal and just kind of melt.
Yeah.
Clark obviously hears what's going on. As Mitch Anderson jumps in there, Clark jumps in there as well. Well, no, what he does, I think the portal kind of starts closing, and then he makes a whirlwind to reopen it and jump and jumps through, but then it closes and Lucy Lane's like, no, it should have been me. I was supposed to go in there. And you're like, Lucy, you're an idiot. You don't know what's on the other side of this portal, right?
You're gonna jump in, yeah.
And you saw some of your cohorts going to kind of like,
melted.
Bad stuff happen.
Stupid.
Yeah. But that's how when you believe so much, right? That you
follow, yeah.
Exactly. And then she's like, "Oh, it's Superman's fault that I didn't go through to the other side to become whole." And you're like, "Oh my goodness, he probably just look." Has Superman ever had beef with you specifically? Is he known to do any of these bad things? Whatever, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, he disappears. And then I think, what is this the next episode, this entire episode of how they deal with a world without Superman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those quiet episodes.
Yeah, and then you're like, okay, so what happens to where are the other heroes of the world? Because you assume this is the episode where you start seeing other people do other stuff. If it did take place on Earth Prime, yeah. I mean, you only see Steel doing stuff. And you're like, right. So, where's John Jones? Where's Supergirl? Where's
Where's Flash? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Questions arise, and you start thinking, wait a minute, do they not exist here? Maybe. Yeah. So Jonathan, like during this month where Clark's not there, Jonathan is like, look, Mum, to Lois, look, I'll tell you who it is. We promise they don't get in trouble, right? Because it's
weighing on my chest now.
Yeah, we all got to come to terms. I mean, Dad might not come back, otherwise, and I don't want to have these secrets from. This is while Jordan's trying to help Smallville-ish from like thieves and whatnot.
Yeah.
So Jordan's using his powers to stop thieves from taking. Like Superman's missing in Smallville, right? And I thought, okay, here is like when you think, okay, Superman kind of helps the rest of the world. So if Superman's missing, why? And usually he's based in Metropolis.
Yeah.
So why is all of a sudden when he's missing from Smallville, does crime rise?
Yeah.
He's been missing from Smallville for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, yeah. So he's helping stop minor crimes and stuff like that. And then Lois says to him, "You're not a superhero. You're not trained. Blah 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 blah. You got to stop this crap, right?"
Yeah.
Okay, and then Jonathan and Candace comes forward. Like Jonathan's like, "Okay, Mum, this is Candice who was dealing them drugs, right? And she, them peddling them XK.
Yeah.
And she calls Jen. She goes, "Look, I can tell you where the suppliers are. And we can stop them. Because that's. I'm no longer dealing on that stuff. The suppliers want me to deal with them, but I need to get rid of them as well. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, sort of situation." She goes, "All right." She calls her dad, General Lane, and they go to the lab where they're making the XK.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh, we're just gonna see and report, right?" Except obviously, see and report never stays see and report. They get caught, of course. And then it's kind of funny because she's telling Jordan off early in the episode, and then she's like, "Yeah, so the XK people are just gonna set fire to us and burn the entire lab and all the evidence. Jordan, could you please come and help me?" Which he does, yeah?
Yeah, he does.
But it's just like, okay. I mean, you told him off before, but it's all right now. When your life's on the line, fair enough.
Yeah, when it's convenient to you, Mom.
Yeah. No, but I know we're just making a joke of it, but it's like when you're a parent and you're telling your teenage kid off. But then you're like, okay, because you're overly concerned for them. That's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even if they can take care of themselves, you're like, but you're still my kid. The way that they always been looked after, and you just kind of assume that you.
Yeah, they always be small to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. So fair enough, yeah, he's actually protecting them kind of in this situation now. And then General Lane's like, yo, Jordan, right? And then you've got these abilities and then you can do stuff, yeah? Why don't you sneak off with me and I'll train you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Silly people.
Exactly. And then the next episode, we see where Superman went in the Bizarro world.
Yeah. And we kind of get an explanation about Bizarro world and stuff.
Yeah. Exactly. So Kal-El here, right? The Bizarro Kal-El. He's like celebrity Superman. I don't think he's ever been Clark in this world. It doesn't look like it. He's just been Superman. He's like used his fame to be Superman. Just like but just be like, oh yeah, I'll present myself as a celebrity just because I have powers and stuff like that, and the world will love me and stuff like that. It's like the different sort of how Superman, normal Superman, is like he because he helps, he gets famous, right? But he doesn't desire it. He just happens to be a secondary point. Yeah. But Kal-El here, Bizarro Superman, is just like, yeah, I'm a celebrity, I'm the main man, everything like that, he's stepping out of limos, but he's like, wait a minute, you can fly. I'm not even. Why are you stepping out of limo for? Why do you need the limelight? You could just drop from the sky and be like, yo, it's me,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But no.
So then then he's close with Tal Rao, whose wife is Lana, right? Lana Rao in this. But yeah, Kal-El gets more and more fame, and he's married and has kids, right? Jordan and Jonathan, somehow in the Bizarro world, they're exactly the same kids, right? But we're gonna let that slide.
Yeah.
But he's just starting to get a bit too big-headed. In this world, Jonathan's the one that starts developing the powers. So Clark's like, stepping out of his limo, whatever. I am the Superman here. Yep. With my super sons here, right? Oh, look. Take a selfie with me, because I'm the Superman, and they're all like flocking towards him. So it's not as if he's being lame and going, grab, I want attention, and no one's giving it to him. They're actually all like, I'm with Superman, blah blah blah. And then some dude falls off a building somewhere, right? And he's too much of a limelight hugger to be aware of that. And then Jonathan goes and flies and saves the person, the fallen person, and Superman's like, oh, well, you're trying to steal my line now. You think you're a big man, right? You think you're. He's just like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, just male masculinity.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff,
yeah, yeah. Oh, you want some of this fame? Is that what it is? And I'm like, oh, you're threatened by your own child, essentially.
Yeah.
Like,
nutcase.
yeah. And then he starts he starts getting obsessed to be more powerful, right? And like, wait, but you're always probably going to be more powerful than your son, right?
Yeah.
Whatever, right? I don't know how this. I want to say I don't know how this logic works. This is bizarre logic, so you don't even have to work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And basically he starts huffing XK to be even more stronger and stuff like that. Obviously, XK is not. It's causing him to deform. Is the best way I can put it.
Yeah. That's the best way of putting it.
Yeah. So he's getting them scars and whatnot, and then he's like, basically his family's falling apart.
Yeah.
So it's like you're a drug abuser, right? We can't stay with you. You understand? You've caused this. And he's like, well, yes, he did cause it. So he's got nothing. What's he got left? Well, I've got the HK left. I'm gonna huff some more. Like, right? Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, but this is how you get addicts, drug addicts
Yeah.
or alcohol addicts and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, hey, it's going to be what it's going to be, right?
Yeah.
And then he's like, you know what? Yeah. Why does he go after Ali Anderson?
To stop her from merging the worlds, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
Something.
So wait. Well, okay. So yeah. Yeah. Sorry, yeah. And then he tries to break through, right? He tried to break through to warn his other selves. He tried to keep the pendants away from her.
Yeah.
I mean, he had two options. Yeah.
Sorry.
Go on.
No, I was saying, like, he. I forgot what I was going to say now. Crap.
Okay. He was going to basically his options are to try and warn his other self, right?
Yeah.
But he obviously going there. He's speaking reverse.
Yeah.
But funny enough, when Clark jumps through, right? He's speaking reverse, and then he learns to speak. He's speaking normal forward, but in that world of reverse, so he learns to speak reverse, to speak to the people. Yeah, and the thing is, though, obviously, Mitch Anderson's dropped through, and he can't because he don't have the Kryptonian brain.
Yeah.
I'm just going to assume it's Kryptonian brain to work out what people have speaking reverse and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
He's speaking forwards, right? But everyone else in this world, they're speaking forwards, and the people that enter the world are speaking reverse.
Yeah.
Or are we going to say that's just convenient TV translation? Would we say that everyone's actually legit speaking reverse?
Yeah, I'd say that.
But because the TV had to show us what's going on, they're speaking forward and he's speaking reverse, yeah?
Yeah.
And he's like, he realizes it's all wrong. Ali Anderson's doing some strange stuff, yeah? And it's not for the benefit of the people. I need to find the Lois of this world. And so therefore she can find Superman.
Yeah.
Obviously, though, you just crack the neck of the Superman of this world, so...
Yeah. Which he's sorry about.
Yeah. But he's trying to find Superman. Yeah. And Superman goes to the Kent farm.
Yeah.
Right? To find out what's going on. Like, because he's like, if the Bizarro me is like me, there must be a Kent farm. Oh, I like his logic. He's like assuming that it's like him, right? And therefore the Kent farm must be there. And it could have been some other farm or whatever, right? But it's just like, you know what? Go with what you know, right?
Yep.
Because it could have went to the fortress and other places, but it's like, just go through the process of elimination. Eventually you'll find something. Yeah. So it's like, when he went to the Kent farm, even though conveniently it is the first one, right? It's like, okay, fair enough. No, actually, I think Tauro helps him. Tauro helps him to go to the farm.
Yes.
Yeah. And then Jonathan's there. Jonathan's like, John L. is like, oh, so Superman, you're here, yeah? Let me throw a couple of punches at you.
Yeah.
No, it is, right?
Got daddy issues.
Yeah. Even though it's not his actual dad.
Yeah.
And then Anderson comes to try and Tauro's there, Lana Ralph's there. Somehow she got powers. Danny explain.
Probably.
No, look, we'll just assume it's XK powers.
No, I was going to assume it's from the. Remember the whole Kodak thing in the first season?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, same thing I think of.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
You applied the logic there, which makes sense. Because her powers don't seem to be XK infused. She seems to have Kryptonian powers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I think of.
Mm-hmm.
Toro.
So yeah, they all try and beat up Superman, and he's like, right, well, yeah. I mean, like they kill Anderson, get the pendants to Ali, who merges with other. So Ali from that world, the Bizarro Ali and actual Ali merge, and become all powerful. And then Jonathan jumps to the normal world, and Taro is like, Taro of this world is like, I think I've done wrong. Superman, you this world's going nuts. Ali Addison's gone too far. Superman, you got to chase that John L from this world to your world, because it's just going to cause problems with you. Yeah, still the error of his ways.
Yeah,
that's the best way to put it. Yeah. So John L arrives. He sees normal Jonathan. He's like, boy, we're gonna be kind of like as one, right? Jonathan's like, no, I don't really want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Superman stops that, right? But then Jor-El gets away. Yeah. Jonathan starts having the visions as well, right? The freaky visions now, because it's like it's like if your Bizarro self comes to your world, two places you can't be in the same place at the same time. I don't know, because that just means Ali Addison and Bizarro Ali Addison just constantly. Well, they merged now. Their visions are as one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so he's as Clark, right?
Yeah.
He's come back, and then they're like, you have to explain your whereabouts to people because you've gone for a month. He's like, what?
He's like, I thought I was gone for a day. He's like, nah,
like in Bizarro world, in like, not even a half a day or whatever it was. So John L is across the street, in Smallville, right? He's like, okay. Why he happens to be there? I'm just gonna assume he was looking for the Lana Rao as well.
Yeah.
Because it's like, Clark's there as Clark, and he's like seeing him across the road, John L. And he bumps into Lana. Lana's like, "You've been gone for a month. I've won the election, by the way, yeah." And he's like trying to fob her off.
Yeah.
To be fair, John L could have killed her and stuff like that. So there's reason why he's trying to fob her off. But she's like, "You don't care, do you?" And he's like,
Other things I need to deal with, sort of thing. Like,
yeah.
But don't be rude about it.
But I can't tell you, of course, because
plot convenience. Yeah.
There's other things going on.
Yeah.
So John kidnaps Lana. John L, right? Kidnaps Lana, and basically gets Superman to rescue Lana, and he's like, but I've trapped you here. So you thought you were smart, Superman, right? Except that there's XK here, and I'm going to beat you up. Which he does, leaves them into a bit of a state.
Yeah.
And they call her the reverse. Like she gets the reverse Lana to help. He helps her reverse Lana through the portal. Yeah. John, Henry Irons, and Natalie, they were like, they're in their XK minds, right? Because they're trying to create a device that will stop Ali Addison, but they need the XK to do it, right?
Yeah.
But she comes through, she just basically backslaps them and they go flying, right?
Yeah, and she flies off.
Yeah, exactly. Then John L's like, well, okay, I dealt with Superman, right? Now I'm gonna go merge with John. John's like, no, please don't. Again,
Yeah,
please
why
don't.
not? Yeah.
Jordan, mate, can you give me a hand here? So
Yeah.
then Jordan obviously is like, I have to fight John L. And he's getting beat up. John L, by the way, dressed like a bit like Connell.
Yeah, and during the 90s, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Not the first version of the costume, but more like, the later costume, the black, the more punky kind of costume, right?
Yeah.
Jordan's just getting beat up, and you're like, Jordan, oh no, man, this is your time to shine, right?
Yeah.
And you're just getting pumped out. Except obviously, it was the plan all along. Cause I think he made John L wear himself out, and he's like, so I'm gonna uppercut you into the sky now.
Yeah, boy. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So Superman's been stabbed with kryptonite from John L, and Lana has to remove the kryptonite from his costume.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny because you remember in the first series,
Yeah.
I think he got shanked with some kryptonite and he pulled it out from himself.
Yeah.
Because his costume was padded, right?
Yeah.
To make him look super buff, right? I assumed it was padded so kryptonite couldn't get through, ish. I thought it was deliberately padded against that, but turns out it's not.
No.
Yeah. Whatever, right? But and you can't like kryptonite's a bit weird here because it's like, okay, so when in the season 1 when John Henry Allen stabbed you with kryptonite, you're falling from space. You managed to yank it out of you.
Yeah.
But now you okay, to be fair, there were loads of shards in him.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah.
So Lana has to remove the kryptonite from him, and Clark then goes and help. He helps save Jordan. Yeah, but at that point, Jordan just basically he's dealt with John L, and he's basically collapsed on the floor. So he's like, he rescues kind of Jordan, and takes him to get help.
Yeah.
John L's put into the DoD custody. Superman brings Lana home. Says, okay, well, John L is not John L, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that John is not Jonathan. That leads to other things, though, yeah? So Clark's like to Lois, I think I should tell Lana that I'm Superman. And Lois like, yeah, you probably, do what you think is necessary and right. Because he's Superman, he's going to do that, right?
Yeah.
So the end of this episode, he said, cause Lana's blanking him because like, yo, you disappeared for a long time. You didn't say jack. Lois said you were in Metropolis on a story or whatever, but when you spoke to me, you didn't say nothing about that. So something's off key here. Yeah. I'm not sure I want to speak to you right now, Clark. And she's like, and he's like, look, Lois, Lana. I am Superman, right?
Yeah.
And he takes off his glasses, he floats, and then he uses the ice breath. And she's like, huh.
It all makes sense now. Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said to you, like last time we were looking at season 1, I always assumed she knew.
Yeah, same.
She kept it on the down low. Here she's like, she's never known.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird, right?
Yep.
Because you would have thought the logic of him and Superman, you've seen them close together, right?
Yeah.
Never same place at the same time, both friends with Lois. I mean, you could have put the pieces together, right?
Yeah.
I know there's the disguise of Superman, whatever, right? Certain the things that he does different.
Yeah.
But if you've never been that close to him, fair enough, right? Except that you were close enough to him to start digging out kryptonite, whatever, from him. So you should have recognized, you should have realized something.
Yeah.
And the way he acts around, like bumbling Clark,
yeah,
is different from how he reacts. He acts around Lana, because they've known each other for so long. So I thought she was like basically, oh yeah, okay, he hasn't told her, but she knows, and now he's unveiling to her, and she'd be like, yeah, yeah, I kind of figured that out.
Yeah.
I was waiting for you to you tell me in your own time, except that she was, but it didn't quite go that way, and I was like, all right. I mean, yeah, okay. I mean, what do you think of that in particular?
Yeah, if you like you said, she said, yeah, I knew, I just didn't want to say anything. It would felt more better to me personally.
Yeah.
But her not kind of knowing is a bit like, how did you not know? There's so many signs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then she's like, all right, Clark, I'm not angry at you, yeah? She speaks to Lois. She said, Lois, I'm angry at you.
Yeah, I was like, that's weird.
I'm angry at you because you didn't tell me. You like, okay, so we're friends, right? I'm friends with Clark, you're, right? And I know you didn't tell me he's Superman, right? But you're being a fake friend to me because you didn't tell me.
Yeah, like, this makes no sense.
Right. But, okay, here's my logic, right? So Clark and Lana are friends. Clark and Lois are friends. But Lana and Lois aren't friends. Like, you know, they're friends now, right? Because they are in contact and stuff like that, yeah? But they're not friends directly.
Yeah.
So what is Lana ever going to call Lois to go, let's come, let's go shopping? No.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I get what you mean.
But they hang out because they're both connected to Clark.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure exactly why Lana is upset. If Clark didn't have to move back to Smallville, she'll never have to. Lois and Lana would never be friends.
Yeah.
So, you know,
to deflect, really, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then Kyle.
Yeah.
So Lana's now keeping this secret, yeah. And Kyle's like, oh, she's keeping secrets from me. Is she having an affair?
Yeah.
Like, right. So you recognize the behavior.
Yep.
Because you've been that
You've done it yourself,
behaved like that
so,
before.
yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, well, he's also jumping to conclusions, but at the same time, it's like, look, there's something afoot, right? And because I've done it, I immediately assume is that as well.
Yeah.
What? Okay, a bit shady, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So John Henry Irons and Sam Lane are like, okay. So let's destroy the portal to the inverse world, right? And then they can't come through, and that one was done, right?
Yeah.
But I think they're like, no, don't do that. Right? We need to release Tao-Rao, my brother, right?
Yeah.
And between the two of us, we could probably destroy the pendant.
Yeah, which logically makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. But Anna Aston appears and starts sucking up, like being. So you know she's Parasite.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't realize this. Cool. I mean, obviously, I know Rudy Jones Parasite, but I didn't know there's a female Parasite.
Yeah.
But I like they basically kind of used her as a Parasite, but tied her to Bizarro and not make her overtly Parasite.
Yeah.
She just siphons power, which makes sense.
Yeah, I like this little weird change. I say weird, like the changes they've made in this series to certain characters and stuff.
Yeah.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
It works out.
Yeah, so John Henry helps hold her off, and the pendant's destroyed, and Tao-Rao, being Tao-Rao, just like, all right, we should probably get out of here.
Yeah.
Fair enough, right? Yeah. Jonathan, like, school's back. Jordan's allowed back in school. Everyone's giving the shady side eyes, and he's like to Jordan and Natalie, let's skip school. Please, let's skip school. I can't handle these. I mean, they're taking the ex-kryptonite, and I got in trouble for it. Whatever. You know. So, yeah. Natalie's like, all right, but you know what's cool? I'll show you some stuff, right? And she's like, she got her super suit, her steel suit, and basically saying, look, we can power this with ex-kryptonite, and you can wear it. Well, okay, she's got I want to say a gender-neutral suit because she's building it.
Yeah.
But she's like, look, you can wear this suit, and it'll stop the other John L, trying to merge with you. But we need ex-kryptonite to help power the suit. Yeah. Then there's a cave-in, of course, but yeah, that's
phase 5.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I was gonna say, convenient there's a cave-in while they're in it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Lois apologized to Lana, which my logic is like, okay, she's like, look, we're not fake friends. I'm your genuine friend. The thing is that I can't tell you Clark's issues, whether he trusts you or not. I mean, you childhood friends, whatever. Yeah, I can't tell someone else's secret to you, even if I wanted to, because it's not my business to tell. Because then I've betrayed his trust. You understand? And then we're all having problems. If you can't trust me and I'm his wife, you know. And she kind of like, Lana's like, fair enough. I mean, I've just been through that with my husband, so yeah, I suppose. I think as well, she was a bit sour because of the stuff happening with Carl, so she was extra emotional about certain things, which is fair. I mean, for these characters.
Yeah.
She's like, Lois is like, look, yeah, Clark's not the only one with superpowers. Jordan's got powers as well.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah, and I'm like, what? So you're not. So you were just talking about how Clark, you weren't going to reveal Clark's secrets to her because he could tell her at the same time, and then you're going to reveal your son's secrets to her.
Yeah, well, to be fair, he's still a child. She can tell his secrets.
I know, but it's just kind of a bit funny because you're like, hold on a second.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and she goes, look. But no, but the way she's telling is like, you can tell, because I know Sarah and John are on the outs, Jordan on the outs, so you can tell your family what you need to tell your family.
Yeah.
Because they're having their relationship got an issue as well. So if you think that even if they're not going out, it'll help resolve it, fair enough. Turns out Sarah's secret, by the way, is that she kissed another girl during summer camp.
Oh, she said that before, anyway.
No, did we say it before?
Yeah, she tells him.
Yeah.
Before, and he takes it weirdly.
Yeah. I just we've got to mention it at this point. But yeah, so that was that. Yeah. He does kind of. I mean, but I think it was so. I think he takes it weirdly, but I don't think he took it as a betray as much of a. She thought she betrayed him so much.
Yeah.
And he's like stunned by it that he kind of doesn't really say much.
No.
And she takes it as he's disgusted by it, like her betrayal.
Yeah.
That he doesn't want to talk to her.
Yeah.
And then she's like, all right, well, then I won't talk to you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, but he's just like, what is happening? What's happening right now?
Yeah. You're a silly boy.
But then again, like I said, because they played down his social anxiety and stuff, they could have played it up more there at certain points. Because sometimes throughout the entire thing, I'm like, right, he's got like standard teenager issues, but they haven't. In season 1, it was more of a thing that his problems, right?
Yeah.
But he doesn't seem to have that many key points where it happens in this series, in this season.
Because I think they tried to explain it away by saying it was because his powers are manifesting, that's why he had those issues. And then I think because his powers are here now, it's gone.
Because yes. I mean, I'm working by your logic, but he didn't know that he was an alien.
Yeah.
And whatever was happening in biology was happening in biology, and he just assumed that he was a freak or whatever.
Yeah.
And now he knows the reasoning behind it. It sells him a bit more.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
So Lana's gonna work at one point, right? She's like, oh, this family. And she's talked to Sarah and the child about the family keeping secrets and stuff like that, right? And she's about to tell them that the Kent family secrets, yeah. But then I think she thinks actually it's probably better not to. Because they will tell when they're ready or sort of something like that. You can't be telling other people stuff to other people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But
The logic is there. It's like she like she followed the logic train, and she concluded, okay, fair enough. What Lois, she blamed Lois incorrectly, and now it's like when it's her turn to do something, she realizes why, the way things were, the way things were.
Yeah.
So fair enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, she but then she learns about Lana Rao, and she's like, well, okay, forget ties with the Kent family no more. I'm like, what? This family probably the most able to protect you. You want to probably go with them the most, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
Sure.
I think, so Mr. Cushing, Carl Cushing, sees Sarah singing. Like, she's watching a YouTube video of herself singing.
Yeah.
And then no, sorry. I think she's in his apartment now because it's his day with her.
Yeah.
She's singing about her heartache, whatever you want to. Yeah.
About her life. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah. Let me set you up a surprise. And then he's talking on his phone to the bar, right? It's whoever the bar. You're like, oh, are you trying to have a more extramarital affair, right? And why are you bringing her to the bar while you do it?
Yeah.
But no, it's open mic night at the bar, and he's like, no, go on, daughter. You know, I mean, I might have been a bad dad for that particular situation, yeah. But I'm trying to help you, you know, with like I'm trying to be a good dad to you now. Not that he was ever a bad dad, but just like, you know, you can do this. I believe in you. And yeah, she sings at the bar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ali Addison goes off to the inverse world, and she kills that Tyrell and absorbs his abilities and powers. No, she absorbs his powers, not abilities. Sorry.
Yeah.
And when I say power, what I mean is power level, like not his strength, but you know what I mean. It's not actually
like essence of it is.
Yeah. It's not his heat vision powers and stuff. No. It's just like his energy. I know his capabilities, but you know his potential. It's different when you say power and powers. You know, not his power set, but his actual power.
Yeah, his life force.
Yes, exactly. That's the best way to put it. Yeah. So John finds out that Natalie has a suit, and he's like, well, essentially, okay, he doesn't really say it, but he says, look, there can only be one armored steel person here. I'm going to shut down your suit. And he's like, no, but realistically, he's doing it for protection, because, like, look, I've developed my stuff to fight the Superman of this world, of that previous world, the black suit Superman.
Yeah. And
you're a child, right? You're 16-year-old, whatever. You can't. I don't want you to endanger yourself. So he locks it up. He puts the auto lock on it. He tells the program to lock it up, or whatever it is. Jordan goes over to Lana and says, "Oh yeah, I know my mom told you about us, but I want to tell my secret to Sarah because maybe we can get back together if she knows." Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have to say that's kind of the teenage train of thought, because you're like, right, you're telling us something that I don't know if we'll resolve anything, right?
Yeah.
But the chances are, it's out in the open to kind of relieve yourself of it, rather than and burden her with it, rather than to actually be a genuine thing, you know? Because yes, to him, he's like, okay, well, if she knows, yeah, then maybe she can, then she knows why I've been acting funny, and that these are the reason, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, well, no, because that might not resolve anything, and she might think worse of you for lying to her all that time, or, you know, that you're a freak, whatever, you know, that is, you know, there's loads of possibilities. And Lana's like, son, you gotta calm down. And do not do that.
Yeah.
Take some time to think, right? Yeah.
But he doesn't.
But, well, yeah. I mean, they kids be kids is sort of the best way to put it, right?
Much.
Yeah. Clark's like, look, Jordan and Jonathan were at the farm, right?
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what I'll do. So do some chores, we'll do some stuff, right? We'll like, because I was angry at you boys for whatever, but now I've disappeared for a month and stuff like that. It's like, look, let's kind of have a little reset, right? It was the Bizarro causing me them problems, as you know, but I know I beefed with you guys, and I shouldn't have. So let's be have a bonding moment, right? And then he takes Jordan to train with him at the fortress. Like, all right, so wiped all the chores. And where's Jonathan? Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, he Clark's like teaching Jordan how to fly and everything like that.
Yeah, you know, oh, so John gets to do
It's
the
like,
human
okay.
work. Awesome.
So this guy who was right next to you, you just forgot about him?
Yeah.
All right.
That's sad.
Yeah. So Lois, Sam, and Chrissy go to they find Lucy because you know how it is, right? Get tabs on her, and they find where the Ali Addison cult is.
Yeah.
And so she's like, yo, I'm gonna absorb Sam's life force, Sam Lane's life force, right? And Lucy's calling for Superman. This is just as Jordan and Clark get back from their training, and they're like, oh, hugging and celebrating. Yeah, we can fly. We flew back. Yeah. And like Jordan, you're amazing. And Jonathan just standing there going, right, yeah. So I'm trash. Yeah, I did all the chores, by the way. Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just like your redheaded stepchild.
Yep. Villain origin story, right? At the start.
Yeah. Moody walks off, but yeah. I mean, fair dues to him, right?
Yeah.
Fair dues to him. Not to me. I mean, he had the right to be angry. He just left him. Yeah. And then Clark's obviously wanted to resolve it, right? But he's hearing Lucy Lane call, so he's like, right, people are dying. Someone sounds like they're dying. I gotta go. I have to deal with my sons later, right? Let me head over to the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ambush all along because he arrives. Ali Addison's like, yo, Superman, your powers are mine. Your soul is mine. Right? And he just basically leaves him for dead. So Chris contacts John and Natalie, and they suit up, and they attack. What's it called? Ali Addison.
Yeah.
And Superman's now in a coma state. So they have to take him to the hospital, and So Steel and John Henry Irons, who is Steel, and is what do we call Natalie? I don't say Lady Steel because that's not her guys, right?
Steel Tooth, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but then
kind
of
actual name. Call it Titanium. I don't know.
wait, okay.
Let's call it Natalie, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. We're just gonna have to deal with that, right? Because Armored, okay. We're just gonna have to call it Armored Natalie, right? So just distinguish when she's in the costume, not like when we say Clark and Superman when they're in costumes, yeah. And Steel and John Henry, yeah. I mean, kind of, yeah. So Superman's like in a coma. John Henry Steel says to Jordan, Jonathan, and Natalie, look, we're gonna have to step up here, right? And be the ones that protect the world against Ali Addison for this, and all the whatever cult men, like the inverse people that are coming through, the Bizarro people, right? And I'm like, wait a minute, but Jonathan's got no powers. What are you telling him to step up for? He's got no suit, nothing. No. How's he gonna? I mean, not to say he can't help being a tech guy, if he was a tech guy, but he's just like, right? I mean, he can't. He's got no weaponry to do anything, you know.
Yeah.
But I think he just means like looking after the people in general. Like, even if you've got no powers, right? You can help with your family, like, you know, the state people are in. You'd be like the emotional rock or something like that, you know.
Yeah. Good done it that way.
Yeah, the more like be as mature as possible. But you're dealing with teenagers, they're gonna do. Just think about your actions before you do it, sort of thing. You know how it affects other people and stuff like, and try and keep everything on point. Yeah, that's the best way I can try and put it. Yeah,
that's the best one.
Yeah. So Alias is like, yo, Lana Rao, finish up Superman, and then we'll merge the two worlds together, right?
Yeah.
The worlds are starting to merge. The inverse world is a cube, right? Which defies all logic, but whatever, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna. Yeah. I mean, have you seen them squared watermelons?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna pretend this. The thing is, though, when you grow a squared watermelon,
yeah,
you have a square contraption for it to grow in. So yeah, whatever, right? I mean, I don't understand. Who knows exactly the logic of Bizarro world, right?
Yeah, I don't think
we leave it be.
Yeah.
Right. But people are flicking in and out across the worlds. Yeah. John, like Clark finally wakes up from his coma, but he's got no powers. John flies him to the fortress, and Lara says, the projectile of Lara, basically saying, it's going to take a while for your powers to return, so you're just going to have to be careful with what you can and can't do.
Yeah, you got.
While your world's being invaded, you know.
Yeah.
But,
oh, great! That's fun.
Yeah, exactly. Sam Lane's like, look, worlds are merging, but we have to deal with it ourselves, the DO or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Lois and Chrissy are like, no, we should tell the people that it's happening because they can then
decide what they're gonna do.
Yeah, exactly. And there's all these things about keeping secrets from other people, right?
Yeah.
So let's not do that, and let the people decide. Like, if they know the information, they can make the choices they need to make. They tell Lana, who's now mayor, and Lana tries to tell the people of Smallville, right? And then just laugh at her.
Yeah.
Oh, this craziness of people of the square world and inverse people and people merging with other people with nuttiness. And she's like, it's true. And they're like, no, you're chatting rubbish, woman. You're chatting utter rubbish. And then, no, but it's the mayor. It's the previous mayor.
Yeah, he's trying to rub it in, make it sound like she's lying.
Yeah, or make it up. Like, yeah, complete and utter balls.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And then she's trying to rally everyone against her. This is who you choose as mayor. This person making up rubbish and crap and you know, telling you about all this craziness. Whatever. Right? What's it called? You know when you unelect someone or whatever.
Oh, impeach.
Yeah, or whatever it is. Throw her off the throne or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
But then Superman steps in there and tells everyone it is true. Not like he's Kurt Angle, right? But just more like well done merging and stuff like that. So you and they're like, Superman, what do we do next then if this is all true? And he's like, listen to your mayor. Mayor will have answers. And he nods at Lana because Lana's like, yep, you're Clark. And I can't. This is where they kind of like she forgives him for not telling all this time and stuff like that as Superman because she can see how Superman presents himself, and it's so different from Clark.
Yeah.
You know? And she had his back as Superman. Yeah. So she's telling people what not. John Henry Irons. He puts his steel suit on and tells Natalie, look, you got your suit, fair enough, protect the people, yeah? I'm going to go and deal with Valley Addison because I'm the only one that who's capable.
Get through the void of it is, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But he gets beat up and he gets, I don't want to say beat up, right? But he gets put in the void. He loses the battle, but it's not like he got beat up and stuff like that. He just kind of floats in the void.
Yeah.
Lana breaks out John from the DEO They attack the school where Clark is, unpowered, of course, right? And Jordan's throwing these punches at Clark, and Superman, right? Because he's in his costume. I don't know, like, if he's depowered to normal, though. And he's still trying, but obviously can't do jack, right? I'm like, yeah, but to take those punches, you must have some low-level power. Because he would have killed you, right?
Yeah. 10 times over.
Yeah, exactly. We'll leave it be as, he's not at 100% yet, right?
Yeah.
And he's not even capable of doing much. He just, take a punch or two. Lana Rao fights Jordan, and Natalie decides to fight John. No. Sorry. Jordan fights both of them.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, I say pretty good, right? Not that he does particularly well or anything like that, but it's just like he's the only one with the powers there at that time. So yeah, he kind of is taking a beating as well, and but he's trying his best to keep people out of range.
Yeah,
he's doing what he can, right? As much as he can against two Kryptonian powered people, and then Natalie comes and helps him. And then he basically they kind of split their group. They divide and conquer, and then she throws a hammer at John, who kind of shifts out of the way. Jordan catches it and just smacks John across the face, John L across the face with it, and that's that.
Yeah. That's out.
Yep. So, but just prior to this, when Lana Rao's attacking, Jordan's like stepping up to fight. He's with Sarah, and he's like stepping up to fight Lana, and she's like, Charlotte's like, "What are you doing?" Because this superpower person superpower person looks like my mum is about to kill you, and he turns around and tells her to go. And he kind of like lights up his eyes with the heat vision, not at her, right?
Yeah,
but just be like prepared to be prepared for battle. But he needs her to go, right?
Yeah.
So he does well, considering. The people of Smallville are told to be with their families, because people are just still transporting in and out across the world. Yeah. And you kind of should be with the people if it's the end of days or whatever, the people you love, whatever. Natalie reestablishes contact with John and flies over to, he's leaving a message for her. And it turns out she's like, because it blips in and out as well, it cuts. She thought she thought he left a message for her to find him and save him. But he's like, no, you're meant to get some more kryptonite. Yeah, and now we're both kind of stuck. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah.
Oopsie daisy.
Yeah, exactly. But they destroy the port. They end up coming up with let's use the tools that we have to do what we need to do at the moment. So they figure out a way to do it and destroy the portals. Taro comes back. Flies. He's like, well, Cal, you need my help. I'm what, hey, I'm here when you need me, and when when I want to be by myself, I will be by myself. You know what I mean? Let me fly to the sun because hey, look, if this world is destroyed, there's no one for me to conquer, right? He doesn't say it like that, but he's just be like, you know what, I've inspired by your relationship.
Your family, yeah,
exactly, and it's time for me to be a proper big brother. Let me take you to the sun,
which is kind of nice. I was like, I like his sort of face turn.
Basically, he flows. Superman supercharges in the sun, and he just flies back to Earth, and he just right into Ali Alliston, essentially, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah,
and you're like, wow. Right, superpower supercharged, and just smashes right into her. But he splits her in two, right? Yeah. He's not like he's like you're thinking what's going to happen is a massive collision. She's just going to implode, or explode or whatever it is when you collide with Superman. Except it's like okay, wow, that could have been really bad for her. But no, he just hits her, like, and splits her in two rather than splits her in many pieces. Splits her back to the two versions of herself.
Yeah.
The inverse version and the normal version. He rescues Natalie and John. And he separates the two worlds because he's Superman, right? I mean,
because the person can do it.
But we're gonna say he's super solar charged from the sun as well.
Yeah, because he even looks like kind of different at certain points.
Yeah, because he's got that super saiyan aura around him.
Yeah.
So Lana and Clark. So which is funny because I think that it takes half an episode to resolve this, and then the rest of the half the episode is kind of like
what's coming next. Sort of thing.
Well, yeah, family stuff. You know, they have to settle all that stuff. And I was like, oh, okay. All right, I thought maybe 2/3 of the episode is going to be how they solve the issue, and then the rest, no, about halfway through it's already done. I was like, okay, fair enough. So Sarah and Jordan get back together. Clark and Lana are friends again. Lois decides to tell Chrissy that Clark is Superman. I'm like, Lois, what's more of you now? Telling people not about secrets, but then decide, I'm going to tell everyone about
my husband's secrets. Yeah.
Yeah. Kyle tries to get back with Lana.
Yeah.
Well, no, he doesn't try to get back with Lana. He's like, is there anything...
he kind of suggests we'll take baby steps, and if you want to get back together, eventually we get back together. If not,
yeah. And she's like, no, I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And he's like, fair enough, but let's are we on good terms? And she's like, yeah, we're friends. We can be friends,
Yeah.
They reconcile, but not in the like a husband-wife style. They're just like, you know what, we're okay with each other,
Yeah.
We're good,
Which is cool.
Yeah, I want to say I hope from that they could get back together, but it's just more like we're not adversarial or anything like that.
Yeah.
So both the Ali Allisons are imprisoned in the DoD, holding hands, right? And don't feel complete. One of them speaking reverse.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. And then like you were saying there, John Diggle, who's not part of this world, but part of this world. Well, this okay. You seen the Flash as well at the same time, right?
Yeah.
So I saw clips that basically this John Diggle's meeting people with his the Green the green thing in the box. Yeah. That's the best thing. The Green Lantern ring, though, really, right? Hopefully. Well, we'll see. We'll see whatever it is. Yeah. You don't want it to be the Green Lantern ring?
No, because I think they never explained it, but he kind of got rid of it.
Yeah. But yeah, he visits John Henry at the end of it. And says, he says basically this was John Henry Irons was killed by this particular guy, and we might want to have to investigate that. And I'm like, right, so John, it must be this world's version of John Diggle, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking at the end.
Or would you say, because you know how some people dimension hop, as in they've got the devices that do hop dimension. No, but I just think it's mighty convenient. He looks exactly the same.
Yeah, he can look exactly the same. As
the one in the Flash on Earth Prime.
Yeah. Maybe.
Anyway,
He could be jumping dimensions. Who knows?
Yeah.
He does work for Agnes.
Yeah, it's true. There's trucks that get delivered to the Kent farm. Are you Jonathan? I know you Jordan? And Clark's like, yeah, they are, and they're like, yeah, we are. And he's like, well, these trucks for you. And Clark's like, wait, what do you mean? Who bought them trucks? Mr. Tao Rao. Boys, you cannot have them trucks. And then the delivery man just shift away.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, and like, okay, so we ain't taking those back, sir. Laters. All right.
Yeah. Boom.
Yeah. And then we see Tao Rao in the inverse world, just swaggering around in a t-shirt and like he's on holiday, and he's like, time to make my place here. Yeah, I don't know if he's gonna rule it or whatever he's gonna do, but it just seems so casual there. I'm like, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Lucy Lane moves to Metropolis, and Karl Lark decides to make a new fortress in the ocean. A fortress of solitude in the ocean, that is. And then the series finishes. Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, man, it was good.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind the teen drama stuff as well. I don't mind some of the stuff that builds upon the lore.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff you're like, yeah, I know. I mean, Lana runs from mayors. Not saying, okay, that's not good or bad or anything like that. But it's just like some stuff is kind of a bit more filler than it's not. You know, the stuff with Jonathan and the XK and not telling stuff about Candace.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I get that, and it doesn't seem too much filler because it's relevant to XK.
Yeah.
But I think Lana's story is relevant to the. Not to say, oh, they could cut it out or whatever, right? But I'm just saying, to the overall story, it just seems like it's there to take up screen time. I know that sounds.
But I get what you mean, but it doesn't feel as bad as in in like Arrow and Flash and stuff when they have them sort of episodes and it kind of drags out because it's like 26 episodes in a season, so it feels long when they do things like that.
Yeah. Yeah. But all I was thinking was, where's Tag? Where's Tag to help at the end there?
He done his part. He doesn't need it anymore.
Yeah. Boy just disappeared.
Well, to be fair, Superman did said that he's a kid. He shouldn't be doing that, and I'm pretty sure someone said they stopped using kids now because of.
Yeah, but okay. So yeah, well, yeah, I suppose, and to be fair, I mean, if he'd known Superman lost all his powers, he'd probably come and help them as well. But and if he knew Superman disappeared for like a month as well, he'd probably try and help. But
I don't know. I think after seeing people he knows dies, I don't think he really wants to do that stuff anymore.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. They didn't give no explanation for why. Like, okay, they could have useful speedster, but there's no information why he's not there. You know? Did
he need to be there? Not really.
Well, no, not that he didn't, right? Not that he did or didn't, but just like, okay, you got a superpowered person there, right? Who can help. If he's not going to help, give me, you know. And if he wasn't mentioned the entire series, by the way, that probably wouldn't have been an issue. But it's just like, when someone's missing and when something's happening, you're like, wait a minute. Where'd he go?
But he's not like a big part of it. Like, you got Tyrell and you got Steel on that. They do like 6 times more than he can do. So
I suppose. But yeah. I like this. I like Superman and Lois. I think it's well written as well.
Yeah, same.
So they don't make the most straightforward choices. They don't go for the easy choices sometimes.
No.
The easy story written choices. They kind of build and do stuff.
Yeah.
The most convenient choices is what I meant, right?
Yeah, I get you, man.
Yeah, but I like to see where it goes and stuff like that. Yeah. Look for the next season and who they're going to pretend and fake out, right? But I like that they just do one long story.
Yeah, same.
And sometimes you're like, I don't mind. Okay, so you can have one long story with slice of life episodes here and there, right?
Yeah.
Which may be relevant to the overall story later on, or just something happens during the story. That's that episode that But it's good that it builds upon the people of Smallville as well. It just happens to be around specific people, though.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, the rest of Smallville kind of not really exists or something like that. I know, you could just have a character, not necessarily they've ever met before, but a new character you introduce or something like that, and then do something around them as well. Maybe.
Yeah.
Instead of the people that are immediately relevant to things that are going on.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think you're looking for the next season.
Can't wait for it.
Yeah. Any particular villains you think that you want to see?
I eventually want them to bring in Luthor, but I don't know.
John Cryer Luthor?
Nah, if they want, if they bring someone else, don't mind. It makes a difference to me at this point.
Oh yeah, it's true.
It's different.
What about
So,
Hank Henshaw, Cyborg Superman, or Mongol? Anyone else? Mongol might be a bit too much because of war worlds in space and all that craziness, right?
as long as they stay away from Darkseid, I'm happy.
Oh yeah, and I think some of the like, I mean, you could have a one-off episode with the Prankster or Toy Man or something like that, maybe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But overall, I like how they build the lore.
Yeah.
And all that.
Good world building.
Yeah.
What about you? Any villains or anyone you want to see?
Well, yeah, but look, I know Zod's been done before and everything like that, right?
Yeah.
But maybe something about Zod, like if it ties in with the overall story, maybe we could have an episode with Zod in it or something like that, you know?
I don't think Zod could be an episode person. It has to be like a whole arc thing.
Yeah, that's the thing is that, but you already got Tao, so you don't, and you try to sort of the same thing, so you don't really.
Yeah.
I don't know about necessary to have Zod.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if they're going to do the. I don't know. What about the Eradicator?
They sort of kind of done Eradicator.
It's true. I want to. Yeah. I mean, it's not like, you know, in the Ultimate, like when you got Ultimate Spider-Man, you're like, oh, I wonder how they're gonna ultimize this character.
Yeah.
Right? So for this series, it seems like they get a villain and they create a long story around it. And you would have thought Bizarro would have been a one-off villain, but they actually, even though he disappeared halfway through the series, it's like, yeah, okay, you made me sympathize with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if they continue doing that, where it's more like, okay, so Steel, you thought was Captain Luther, and it turned out to be Steel. Bizarro is not exactly a Bizarro, but because of the nature of what he ended up doing to himself, he became a Bizarro.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. It's like, yeah, you don't have to have the characters done so simple, as long as you give them something like a backstory that changes things up. I mean, if they do Doomsday, he can only be Doomsday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Plus, Doomsday is sort of like the be or end all sort of thing as well. So.
Yeah.
Kind of weird doing him.
Yeah, you can only kill Superman once.
Probably.
Unless they do the whole Death and Return of Superman storyline, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is, obviously, if you do Doomsday, Jordan's going to get in there and he's going to probably get murdered.
No, he could be. I don't know.
I wonder if they'll do something where you get Connell in there somewhere.
Yeah, they probably could do it. I'll be alright with that.
Yeah, there's yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I will continue watching it. I like it.
Same.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So yeah. So I'm the man who doesn't listen to Superman, gets myself murdered because I tried to go to a reverse world and no one understands what I'm doing on about. CI-Chung.
And I am the plot convenient device that brings the stories together, Carl Charles.
So you are XK is what you're telling me?
Yep.
Okay.
MSK. That's my initials in there somewhere. Yeah. And yeah, thank you all for listening to us talk about season 2 of Lois and Superman. Superman and Lois.
Yeah.
That's the old one. But anyway,
you're thinking of Lois and Clark.
Yeah, the New Adventures of Superman. Terrible show.
Which, by the way, I mean, have you gone back to watch any? You watched Lois and Clark back in the day, right?
Yeah.
Have you gone back to watch it any time since?
I think I've tried to watch like an episode here and there. I was like, I can't. This is too 90s for me. I can't do it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was thinking of watching some of the episodes myself, but I just kind of like thinking, do I? Yeah. Well, so I did like season 1, so I might rewatch season 1 and then leave it. Because they kind of got rid of Luthor at the end of season 1, and you're like, But anyways, yeah. That's that.
That's that. Yeah, but if you guys want to watch that, go for it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna judge. Let us know what you thought of Superman and Lois, or if you haven't watched it and you want to watch it, yeah, let us know what you think after watching it. You can do that by following us on our social medias, on our Instagram and our Twitter, and through email. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and all that lovely jubbly stuff. And until next time, guys, thank you for taking a trip with us around the multiverse. Bye.
Bye.
Things haven't been okay for months, and I have been blaming you.
Always something to worry about, isn't there?
Please just talk to me about what's bothering you. Is it the Natalie thing?
No!
Dad, how long is she gonna be like this?
I don't know, man. Let's go.
Want to make sure we don't attract any unwanted attention.
You mean the kind you get from flying around the world with Superman?
You're more of a liability than a hero. I asked you to be part of my team.
What you asked for was my allegiance to America.
But you refused to me.
Because I gave it to the world a long time ago.
Let me go with you, just to watch your back.
Clark?
Get back!
You left our son home alone to have...
No, this is a national security situation.
No, it is a family situation.